It's March 17th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl, and it's time to get in the weeds. A lovely Monday morning to you. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope you're doing well, enjoying your weekend, or enjoyed your weekend, I should say, because it's Monday and we're all back to the grind, whatever that is. I approach the grind with anticipation. I never run from it. Jeremy O. Lambert is here, as he always is on a Monday. How you doing?
Squidward is green, so that's my green for St. Patrick's Day. As I rep the SpongeBob, and we're in the weeds, so we're all green theoretically.
The background is green. Our names are in green. My lights eventually turn green once in a while when they get to that rotation because it's an RGB light that just kind of does something. My thing in the background is green. Well, now the light's
green. Yeah.
There you go. See, look at that. Nobody pinched me because I'm wearing green in my room, not on my body.
No. You don't have colorful shirts, Joel. It's all black.
You know I do. You know that I wear my t-shirts are typically black, sometimes white, but I wear something over that.
Yeah, that's true. I liked it that you just wear all black anyway.
It makes continuity a lot easier, to be honest. The only thing that changes is your hair, but other than that, it all works out.
Remorse betrayal has pinched you.
Yeah, okay, fine.
You don't have to be green on. Yeah.
Maybe my socks. I don't know. I'm not going to check my socks. I don't look at what I put on in the morning. I just kind of do it.
You're not going to check them. You can't look down and see your socks.
Move out of the. Hold on.
Show feet, Joel.
Definitely not. They're like an off green, maybe a little white. I don't know.
Are they? Show feet.
No. Tell you what, I'll put it up on my OnlyFans.
$50 and Joel show feet.
For the $100 and up tier on Fightful Select late this afternoon. Probably not what we're gonna do, but yeah, there you go. Henry's got the right idea. I'll put it in the Discord mod chat just for you guys, just for the mods. Your monthly payout of feet pics. Hope you enjoy it. Oh, how was your weekend, Jeremy? You made it through? You're alive. That's a start.
Yeah. I'm doing better than Ryan Lambert. Ryan's over here running LA marathon. He's going in for jury duty. What a combination that is. The marathon right into the jury duty. I hope you don't get selected, Ryan. Jury duty's dumb as hell.
Tell them you won the LA marathon and then they'll take you out because you lied.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good bit right there. Yeah, have you ever been selected for jury duty, Joel? I don't know if they have that in Canada.
We do, but it's a different process.
Oh, okay. I've only gone once. Like, I've only been called to do it once. And I didn't get up there to be, like, interviewed. They had selected everybody before I even got up there, which makes the process just, it's like a 7-hour thing. Got to break for, like, a lunch. And that was it. I was like, cool. I just sat here the whole time and just listened to all of this. Like, this is boring. This is dumb. And then I didn't even get interviewed. Like, I would at least like to get up there and, get interviewed and everything. I think it'd be fun to be selected and be on the jury. Maybe something different, but I never made it that far in the process, sadly.
I feel like, and people who have done it, who've done jury duty, not been part of the legal process on the other side of things. Maybe you can attest to this. It feels like most of the juries you're selected for are not that, like, it's not that sexy. It's not like you're, crime of the century type. It's just like you come in, they do the verdict, and not the verdict, but like it's a pretty quick process.
This was a I don't want to say sexy trial. This was a sexual. No, not a well-known. It was a sexual assault trial.
Definitely not sexy. When I say sexy, I mean headline sexy. We're not
right. No. It wasn't that. Like, I don't know. This is only the only one I've been part of, so I don't know like the other ones. I assume like they might have like a jury for like small, meaningless things. This was like a very, I don't want to say big, but like a domestic dispute that definitely got out of hand. So, yeah, but I didn't get selected for it. I would have just sided with the woman. Like, they wouldn't have selected me anyway because I would have been like, I don't give a fuck if she's lying or not. Like, I'm on the woman's side. So, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, definitely glad that I haven't done that. In Canada, the suspect picks the jurors. I feel like that's right, but also I feel like that's right. I'm not too sure. We'll see. we'll see one day when I get picked and I look at the person who's picked me and I'm just like, oh, I went to school with you. And then they're like, and you're dismissed. They're like, okay, that's great. See you later. Bye.
Isn't that how that's how it works in general? Like both of the lawyers like get to pick. So the lawyers can, the suspect and the defendant get to basically pick.
You see, I'm so away. This is the fun part about having lawyer friends. None of them, except for one that I don't really talk about it with, are prosecution. And like most of the time, it's like, so what are you up to today? And he'd be like, oh, just going down to the courthouse. I'm gonna go wait around for stuff that's happening. I'm like, what does that mean? He's like, we just sit around until stuff happens. I'm like, this is like ambulance chasing. And he's like, but I'm not ambulance chasing because I actually have stuff on the docket. But what are you waiting for? He's like, I'm just waiting for judges to come up and call my case number. I'm like, this is a waste of product time. What are we doing? He's like,
I did. I worked for my local newspaper for a while, and typically I did like sports stuff because that's what I was good at and that's what I cared about. But I did one day of just like on the ground journalism where we would like stand outside the courtroom or just stand outside like offices and like listen in for stuff and like check records and just like basically find case type of thing. It sucked. I hated it. One, because I had like no interest in it. I was like, I don't care about like government work. Sorry. Like I know it's important. I'm not dismissing it as that, but like as far as like stuff that I want to cover and stuff that like I want to dig my teeth into or hands into, had no interest in like looking up court cases and like standing around while people who I don't know if they're important or not are talking and everything. It was such a long day. Such a long day. It was the middle of summer too. So it was just hot out. I was like, this is not how I want to spend my day. I want to be at home, just chilling, watching sports. And then I got to write about the UNC and Duke game that night, which was at least something fun. But yeah, like on the ground, like ear to the ground stuff that like you don't care about, just boring.
Yeah, it's not something that I would want to be a part of, doing courtroom reporting. It just feels no, big no for me. But again, I'm in Canada, so things are a little bit different than what's in the US, and not everything is Law and Order like a television show. That would be too much fun. But speaking of too much fun, why don't you go ahead and leave a thumbs up on the video? That's a lot of fun. Do it. Come on. Do it right now. Like the video. Slap a like. Yeah, you do it. Pyro. Well, now we're doing it subconsciously. Now we got to hit the pyro. I think you got to smile.
I don't want to smile.
There you go. It worked when you smiled. See, Jeremy, things are better if you smile more. does not. And of course, you can subscribe to the channel here at $5 We always like having your support, and we appreciate it because this one's the free one. But if you got a few bucks in your pocket and you want to give them over, you can donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question or statement read on the air. Kim Gray kicks us off saying, "My eyes are green. Does that count?" My eyes are green too. So we're going to count it for today.
Doesn't count.
Don't touch me. No. Genetically, it counts.
No, it doesn't. That doesn't count.
It does.
No,
it does. What if I wear the Ducks tea towel that's behind me?
I'm making a rule that it doesn't count. If you wear that, like that's fine. That's at least something, but it doesn't count.
I'm not going to wear it. And then Cyclops is better than Wolverine, says Troll in wrestling chat room showing feet. Only the Fightful Select Discord, and it's only for the mods. That's all. Those are the only people who get it. They deserve an opportunity to make some money, or at least to be praised by my feet.
Praised by your feet?
What? Some people might like that. Wouldn't you?
No.
Clearly, we are in the wrong circles, my friend. The wrong circles.
All right, Joel. Let's skip all the pleasantries of the feet and let's get down to what everybody wants to talk about here.
Nic Nemeth turned heel at TNA Sacrifice this past Friday night.
No, who cares? Are you still on Cuck Cellular, Joel?
I'm actually waiting for a response. They only operate between Mondays and Fridays at between 9 and 5. I have called them, and of course the call was, "Oh, thank you for calling. Bye, Spry. We are basically the bullshit response to an AI mailbox that then doesn't actually pick up. It just hangs up on you. So we're working on it, pal. We are working on it.
All right. Well, thank you for the update. You got to keep. This is all that people care about, Joel. Is what cell surface you are using. I feel like you're going to keep sitting in that chair, though. Don't feel like you're going to be moving for a little while.
Today I should be moving a little bit. And that's the thing. If this thing all goes to hell, I have option 2. Like, I'll just go back to my former employer and make a deal. Like, that is in my back pocket. It's not even my former. It's like my former employer. The ones that I worked for, the cell company, the iPhone reseller that I used to work for. I could just walk into their store and just be like, "Hey, I have a couple of phones. Let's even out a deal."
Are you sure you can do this?
Yes, because I've already spoken to the owner, to the founder.
Okay.
Yes. I keep up with them sometimes.
All right. Well, you might want to go that option because Spry is bending you over and got the KY right now.
Stop it. KY. Oh man, there's a cut corner. That's true. There is a chair in the corner of my room.
Yeah.
But there's no. Oh crap! The bed's over there. Oh no, my home. No, my home. This is a makeshift guest room, but really the only people who sleep in here are like writers for Fightful and my mother. Those are the only people who have ever slept in this room that weren't me. So there you go. Jeremy's been in here. Kate has slept in here. My mom has slept in here. I think actually Kate didn't even sleep here when there was a bed in here. She had like a mattress on the floor in this room. Because that's what I think of Kate. Mattress on the floor with
that hospitality that Joel provided.
Look, it's not like she was going to stay anywhere else. She was going to come back in December, but then I put a mattress on the floor and she's like, "Nah, I'm good." She doesn't even want to see her favorite wrestler wrestle that year. She sucks. Zack Sabre Jr. fan fraud, Kate. I went to go see that match. It was great. Fantastic. If I could get away, if I could not have YouTube show Temu ads, I would love that. But I don't get a say.
We were watching a show called the 7-Year Switch. Everybody, this is
where they start as a top and they move to the bottom and then they come back.
This is the kind of trash we watch. We finished the Temptation Island with all 10 episodes. We finished the Temptation Island. Oh, poor Shantae. She took that man back after they had a threesome and just she did not want to. She had so much regret on her face. She said no at first, and then old Mark Wahlberg, not that Mark Wahlberg, was like, he kept going and he kept apologizing. Breon kept apologizing, and then he's like, "All right, I'll leave with him." And she was so sad. I think they actually broke up though. We did the wife and I investigate the Instagrams and the Reddits after the show airs, and doesn't seem like they're still together. They didn't do a reunion, sadly. Anyway, we finished the Temptation Island, and now we're on to the 7-Year Switch, which is, this show was years ago. This was like pre-pandemic stuff, but it's basically like wife swap. It's like partner swap is what it is. Like two couples, they switch with their partner and see how it goes. These people like hate their significant others, like absolutely hate them. All they do for the first couple episodes is like bury the person that they're with. It's like, "Oh yeah, my husband says this, and this. Like, he sucks. He wakes me up and yells at me when he wakes me up. He doesn't cook any meals. I gotta cook everything. Like, I'm always providing for him. He's a child." One of the ladies was calling her husband a child. It's like, it's just kids. How are the kids doing? So she's with this new partner, and she's like, "How do you think the kids are doing?" And she's talking about like this guy's wife and her husband, calling them children, because all they do is like to go out and they like to drink and like to party and stuff. This one dude, completely over it. He's like, "I'm trying to fuck this new wife that I have. I'm done with my old wife. I'm trying to hook up with the new wife." Just terrible people. Absolutely rules. 7-Year Switch, everybody. It's all on YouTube if anybody wants to watch. Jules, we do need a Temptation Island reunion. It doesn't sound like they're going to do it though. Mark Wahlberg. So we discovered this about the old Mark Wahlberg.
Not that Mark Wahlberg.
not that Mark Wahlberg. He used to host a show called where like you tell Moment of Truth is what it was called. So the kids went shopping over the weekend and they bought this game, Moment of Truth. And we look at the box and the wife is like, is that Mark Wahlberg? And granted, this show was on Fox like 20 years ago. And I'm like, yeah, that does look like a young Mark Wahlberg. And sure enough, it was old Mark L. Wahlberg, the host of Moment of Truth. And they're like, man, he used to be just some reality game show host. Now he's on the Temptation Island trying to talk sense or not sense into these couples who just want to break up by fucking other people. Amazing life this man has lived.
3 seasons in 2008.
Yeah, so there you go. Young Mark Wahlberg hosts the show. He now lives in one of the bedrooms on the cover of Moment of Truth.
On the 5th episode, which aired on February 25th, contestant Lauren Clary truthfully admitted over the course of play that she had been fired for stealing money from an employer. She believed that her ex-boyfriend, who was present and asked this question, is the man she should be married to, and that since her wedding day 2 years earlier, she had sexual relations with someone other than her husband. After truthfully admitting to these actions, with her mother staring furiously at her and her husband sitting with his head in his hands, she was eliminated for answering yes on the question of whether she believed she is a good person. The intro of this episode was featured with a disclaimer by host Mark L. Wahlberg, in which he claimed it was highly debated whether or not the episode should even be aired, and he was against it being aired, calling it the most uncomfortable situation he has ever been in on television. Clary, who could have stopped and left with $100,000 based on her already dramatic revelations, later said that she continued trying to win more money in order to achieve fame and fortune.
So I have the game here. Here you go, everybody. The Moment of Truth. There's old young Mark Wahlberg. So you mentioned like some of these questions, and keep in mind we're playing this with the children here, and we gotta like change up some of the questions because let me read out some of these that you can see them and they are you can see like the yellow and you can change the words that are yellow. Again, we're playing this with the kids. Joel, Moment of Truth. Have you ever visited a porn site on the internet?
Yes.
Have you ever had a quickie with a coworker during your lunch break?
Not during my lunch break.
Have you ever kissed a member of the same sex on the lips?
I have not.
Have you ever pretended to pole dance in front of a mirror?
I'm afraid that pole will fall and crush us all.
These are the questions that we were playing with the children.
And what did you switch and how were the answers?
The blue ones are a little bit better, but have you ever told your friends that you had sex with someone when in fact you didn't?
Jesus Christ. I feel like we've all done that.
And now that I'm like going through these, might have to take this away from the kids. Might have to.
The anonymous IGW general manager just said, "Yeah, we had to change like every question."
Yeah. Not the like some of them are okay. Like, have you ever lied about who you are? It's like, all right, like, you know, sure. Have you ever wanted to put a curse on someone? Like that's have you ever made a YouTube video? Like that's fine. But you know, some of these other questions ain't great of what you can ask the people. Well, there you go, everybody. Moment of Truth. You can find it at your local hobby shop, maybe.
I was supposed to ask the youngest if they ever went to work hungover.
I think she switched it to like if you're going to school sick or lied about being sick, something like that.
Good save.
She's now messaging me. What the fuck? I had no idea the questions were like this. Yeah, we drew like some halfway decent questions when we played the other night. Now that I'm reading these, yeah, you get some not so great questions. This is what our day is now going to be, is just going through these questions and taking out the ones. Kids are going to come home and be like, why do we only have like 10 questions to ask in Moment of Truth? There used to be a stack of like 50 things. Joel, have you ever had sex in the back seat of a car?
Yes.
Look at you, Mr. Adventure over here.
Yeah, well, then he got married and everything changes. You know how it goes. Anyway.
There you go, everyone. There's a Moment of Truth. You can go get it or don't. I don't know.
You can find it. The game is almost 20 years old.
It does say adults on here at the bottom.
Oh, that's probably a dead giveaway. Starting to think you're not that great parents anymore.
It does feel like we should have vetted that one a little bit better.
Oh gosh, what are we doing here? Anyway.
We thought, Mark Wahlberg, that should have been the real giveaways. We should have saw Mark Wahlberg on the cover and be like, I don't know if Mark Wahlberg's hosting the most up and up things given his current hosting duties right now.
Considering he already had a problem with one of those episodes airing, I'm surprised the board game got to come out.
I mean, maybe the game came out like beforehand. They make a game on all of these.
Fair, but I doubt it in this case. By the way, it's not comfortable. Don't do it. That's all I'm going to say. Not in a Burger King bathroom, no. But in someone else's condo bathroom.
I took the wife to the Applebee's bathroom once.
That seems like a bad idea.
It's a classy place, Applebee's.
Cleaner, that's for sure. That's cleaner. Yeah, so listen, because it's early in the show, we can get away with it. We'll do a couple of sacrifice notes. Nic Nemeth turned heel.
Can we get away with anything on this show?
No, well, not really. The Nic Nemeth heel turn, to me, I just want to point out, is hilarious because it further cements the notion that Nic Nemeth does not, in fact, watch the product. Because his brother took his contractually obligated rematch for a world title, and then Nick decided, oh, I love my brother, so we're going to go after the Hardys to have the brothers versus brothers tag team feud of the week, because I can't call it a decade, year of nothing. such garbage of an ending. And I was like, it should have been Ryan Nemeth turning on his brother. But instead it was Nic Nemeth turning. And then now it's just going to bring back JBL and everyone's going to be like, where the fuck was this 20 years ago? Like, where were we 3 months ago with this? Show was okay otherwise.
Yeah, it was fine. They switched the Knockouts tag team titles again. I feel like those titles change hand on like every single show. That was their one title change, right? There was no other title changes.
That's what they do. There's always one title change, and it's usually the Knockouts tag titles. And I've been calling this for weeks, months even. They had to do 3 of these matches just to get there and add Iceman to the match. Yeah, it's fine. Spitfire drops the Knockouts tag titles to the Elegances. That's fine. It's just giving time for Rosemary to bring Jessica Havoc back so they can take back those tag titles. And Havoc can be like, you put me on the shelf 2 years ago almost. It's been on 1 year, I guess. But yeah.
I was very sad Cora Jade did not win Knockouts title. I was very much looking forward to that celebration. So
big loser.
That was the only disappointing thing.
I got to be honest, the match wasn't that good. It was fine. It just wasn't that great. Yeah. But otherwise, like again, there were moments of the show that were great, and there were moments of the show that were not. I thought the Jeff Hardy Moose ladder match was okay. Jeff Hardy going through it, absolutely just taking the bumps, and Moose just doing his thing.
Ali beat Santana.
Match of the night, as I told you all.
Yeah, I mean, Joel really went out on a limb and said that, hey, this match between 2 really good wrestlers is going to be better than all of these matches that don't have as good of wrestlers in there. No knock on anybody else on the card, but Ali and Santana was very clearly on paper going to be the match of the night.
Speaking of which, Fightful Select reported that Mustafa Ali may have he may have let me try that again, because if we do a short, game over. Fightful Selected reported that Mustafa Ali during that match may have dislocated his jaw and then was able to finish the entire match. And at one point, it could have put it back in, basically relocated his jaw, but he's not expected to miss any time. We also had Mike Santana quote tweet that article and effectively add some credence to it. But Ali going hard, man. That's an insane thing to do. You know what this solidified, Jeremy? This is the Slammiversary match. This is the world title Slammiversary match. It was that good.
I mean, I hope so. It's better than Kazarian and Santana that you've surmised that might happen. And Kazarian just lost to Macklin. So don't do that dumb thing where, hey, we're just going to beat the guy who has the call your shot thing. So when he cashes in, he wins, but he's been a big old loser leading up to it. So I do hope that it is Ali and Santana at Slammiversary. That's probably, it's the best match they can do, but I don't know, they might have Moose have that thing. But I looked at the tapings and we got a super chat from Ryan Adams, if you want to read that out.
Yeah, real quick. One of the funniest things from the weekend is the reactions to JC Jane standing next to Tessa Blanchard and clearly looking like she wanted to be anywhere else. Same with Cora. Wow.
So I looked at the taping results. This is not a spoiler, anybody. It's not. I promise you it's not. This is more of me just riffing off of what I said last week, which, by the way, that short did really well with what I said. What are they doing with Joe Hendry? What is happening with Joe Hendry?
Do you want an answer?
I mean, I saw the tapings. I saw what they're maybe doing, but like, it's just, man, what? I feel bad for him, honestly.
What are they doing? Because I'm trying to I mean, I think I know what they're doing because it's been the thing that they've been doing ever since Elijah showed up. But, they're playing the long game with this because they just turned one guy.
It's just, and I feel bad for him, man. Like, he wins the title and then he's gotten nothing since winning the title. I don't think it's fully his fault. It's the fault of just creative that this was their best idea for him is we're going to bring in Elijah and pair you up with him. It's like, all right, is that like the best thing you can do after this big moment of winning the title? It's just unfortunate. Like, you look at, when I was putting together the spoilers, I was like, where's the world champion? And not doing anything. Like, they got stuff from Masha. I know it's a lot of NXT stuff, but it's something. They got stuff for the system. They got stuff for the Hardys. They're doing something with Nemeth. Joe Hendry's just team with Elijah. Have fun.
I made reference to this in the Select Discord, and I've said it on this show and other post shows that I do. The partnership between TNA and NXT in this case is extremely beneficial for the women, especially the women in NXT. They are the ones who, while they have the two titles, and then there's tag team titles that are mostly up on the main roster, but when you have those two titles, but then you have a whole influx of women who are vying for those titles, but also in other periods of their own development, having a place like TNA to go and not only get spotlit, but also work with a different crowd, work with different active wrestlers who are active on the indies, who are active with TV contracts. They're definitely winning this. I had a conversation offline with Sean about this. How many title matches there have been cross-brand. There have been no title changes cross-brand, but the fact that like Jordan Grace, when she was still under TNA contract, defended the Knockouts title 5 times against NXT talent. Masha's currently on pace to do the same damn thing because she's doing a whole bunch, and then the Elegances are about to deal with like 5 different NXT tag teams as well. So this is a benefit for the women of NXT. We've already talked about how the men's division in NXT is pretty barren. So there's almost no reason to have Joe Hendry go and defend his title, but also it would be nice for them to be able to bolster something and have someone like that's not Oba Femi work with a guy like Joe Hendry. You can't do champion versus champion. It's first of all, it's not credible. No one's going to be like, oh, Joe Hendry's going to beat Obafemi. No, 9 times out of 10, Obafemi's going to win that match on paper. But yeah, with Joe, it's just like we did the thing and then we didn't plan for it afterwards. And a lot of companies get stuck with that. They do the hot hand and then they wonder what to do next, or they think that they're going to be able to keep the heat going. There's been moments of that with Cody, but here we are with, the one guy they gave it to, and then it felt like they never had a plan after that. So Hendry's stuck.
I say this in all seriousness, and people are going to laugh at me, but I'm being dead serious about this suggestion. Bring in Ridge Holland.
Yeah.
Have Ridge Holland face Joe Hendry. Ridge Holland can at least work heel. He works his style. He works his character. And he will get people to further come up for Joe Hendry. Say what you want about Ridge. I get it. I don't think he should be. I don't think he's main event guy in NXT. If that was your best option for Oba and Ethan and all these guys, then that speaks to the depth of the NXT men's roster. And we've talked about that. And they're adding more now. You got Javon on the come up. You got Ricky there. So they're at least adding a little bit more now. Ridge, there ain't really anything to do with him in NXT at this point. He's challenged for all the titles. He's lost. He's not even on TV right now. Send him to TNA and have him work Joe Hendry. At least that is a credible heel for him to go against. That's not right now. They got the colognes and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'll add a name to that, and that's literally any member of Gallus.
Yeah, I thought about Gallus as well. Yeah.
Again, we make the joke all the time, what have they done since training The Rock for a return? Yeah. They're going to be given contracts forever and ever, amen. They'll be protected in their own little way when it's financially based. But there's someone, if they're going to move them to literally every single company or every single branch of WWE, now they're doing stuff with Evolve. If they can move them over to TNA and do stuff, that's another added addition. Although I do find it funny that we're just sending all the UK wrestlers over to face the Scottish guy. It's got to do something. But no, I think Ridge Holland is a good shout, and there are people on that roster that can go and have good matches with Hendry and build something, but they continue not to do anything with Joe Hendry beyond a comedy act and a guitar. That's what the Elijah thing is. I'm not going to turn my back on you. Well, you're going to, because that's how pro wrestling works. Or someone's going to get, so inside their own head, so paranoid that you're going to turn on them instead. It's kind of silly. So I don't know, but Ridge works. Wesley's another name that people bring up, and I think Wes is on his way to still doing the Tyson and Tyreek stuff. I've said it here, I'll say it again. I think Tyson and Tyreek will win the NXT championships, and then Wesley and Trey Miguel will be the first TNA stars to win NXT gold, and they'll take the tag titles from them because it's a very safe move. It's two talent that have done cross promotion stuff, have TV experience. Carter Nash. He was Nash Carter. Now he's Wentz. Zachary Wentz. Again, the names mess me up. Zachary Wentz used to work with WWE when he was Nash Carter in MSK, teaming with Wesley. There's a connection there. There's a trust there. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way they go with it, and Tyson and Tyreek win it at earliest stand and deliver or just after that.
I think Wes could have been a credible challenger to Joe Hendry. They just decided to keep doing rascal stuff with Wes. So that was, but I do like the shout of Wes, who as a challenger for Joe Hendry, and they decided to keep doing rascal stuff. So what can you do?
Honestly, we talked about how I've mentioned and others have said that TNA Unbreakable in Vegas on WrestleMania weekend should be a very different show from Rebellion. It should be the NXT talent that are not being used on Stand and Deliver. They should be on the TNA Unbreakable show. They should be a big blockbuster card because you got a pretty sizable venue to fill. They'll do pretty well, but it's still WrestleMania weekend. There's so many matches and so many wrestlers going and working that weekend, that week for that matter. That's a show that you can load up with NXT talent, the ones that you think will be okay, not because they're not working Stand and Deliver, that you can have them do a bunch of TNA matches. Do the crossover matches there. There's your worlds collide. And it doesn't need to be some big event. It can be just with talent that people know, people are getting to know, and it would work. There's your Wesley versus Hendry main event at that show. But then he's got to do the Ali match a week later. So that's the only other thing, is that TNA has a pay-per-view the next week.
And kind of mentioning Trick and Hendry, Ethan Page and Hendry. I don't think Trick and Ethan Page are on a level that I don't think NXT is going to be given to the TNA World Title program. So that's why. And they've done Ethan Page and Joe Hendry as well. I don't think Ethan Page has like too much desire to go and work at TNA shows either. Could be completely wrong. Just reading tea leaves from interviews of, it seems like he's, if TNA guys want to come to him in NXT like Hendry did last year, he's for that. But I don't feel like he's got a ton of desire to be like, I'm gonna go work this TNA show now.
My old stomping grounds, the old senior stomp.
Like Trick probably losing Joe Hendry. You got to get people who are gonna like take an L, and these guys aren't gonna be really taking L's. That's why Rich Holland's like, he can take an L. It's fine. I like Charlie Dempsey is someone that would have made some sense too, and he'd done TNA stuff in the past. He's not doing too much on NXT programming right now, so he would have made some sense. But they're going with Elijah,
as one does. Because who wants to walk with the guy on a horse?
The problem is like his name starts with an E, and you can't do like TNA stands for
Total Nonstop Elijah with an A.
It doesn't quite work. Talking nonstop with Elijah.
That's going to be his podcast when he's done this whole thing.
Doesn't work.
Who wants to ride on my horse? I don't know what he's gonna. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm sure he's already thinking about it, but I don't think he's going to be winning that title anytime soon. So it doesn't really matter as much. Who wants to tag with Elijah?
Are we done talking about TNA?
I think we're good. Again, it just popped me so much that Nic Nemeth, who clearly doesn't watch the product, has made it official. He did it 2 weeks ago. He made it official that he doesn't watch the product because his brother was telling everyone, Nick says, my brother says he's having a great time and that y'all love him. Da, 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 da. And then Matt Hardy's just like, well, no, we hate him. He's not on the team. And Nick's like, oh, well, he's a good kid. It's like, you're not watching the product? You're not watching Ryan Nemeth get booed at every step of the corner? Like, what are we doing here? And then it was very stupid. Anyway, Nic Nemeth is now a heel. Talk
Allegedly.
about 3 months too late.
Allegedly a heel.
Total nonstop acoustics.
That's not bad. All right.
Yeah. As long as they can get the guitar sounding right. Blackballed Ryan Nemeth. Oh God. I hope that the Nemeths just start threatening litigation against everyone. That's their new gimmick.
Don't give them any ideas here, Joel. Don't run with that.
Nick's too busy talking to Dave LaGreca, so it's fine. He does the other morning show. He ain't watching us.
Somebody might be watching us, and they'll be like, "Hold on."
It'd be very funny. Just he finishes the show. He's like, "Let's see what the In the Weeds guys are saying about me." Litigious Nemeth. That's a good idea.
Yeah, don't give them any ideas here, Joel. They might go with this.
Henry's saying Joel's happy talking TNA because you don't see that excitement for AEW.
Yeah, true.
That's fair. Well, one of them pays me to cover their show. I mean, the website, not the company. If the company paid me, I would.
Joel admits that TNA pays him to cover TNA Impact.
I wonder if they'll let me. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to finish that sentence right now. I wonder if they'll have me at Under Siege. We'll find out. Where should we go from here? We got to talk about John Cena. We'll do that in a few minutes. But is there anything else from the weekend that we should cover before we dive into television stuff?
Collision. Did you watch Collision?
I did watch Collision. Fatal 4-way sets for. Is it a Fatal 4-way or is it a 4-way elimination match? I think it's a Fatal 4-way.
I think. Well, it's an Eliminator match. I feel like it's probably just one fall to the finish.
I think it is, especially given who's in this match. So Mark Davis and Ricochet join the field along with Speedball Mike Bailey from Wednesday and Orange Cassidy as well. Those four are going to make up the Who Pins Mark Davis special on Wednesday's episode of Dynamite.
Wow.
I mean, prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong. Again, it was pretty good stuff. I enjoyed the Battle of the Marks. And I thought that Ricochet and Shibata had a pretty solid match. The opening with Ricochet doing his whole ass promo and then cutting to Shibata with his Siri, "Shut up, Baldy," was absolutely great. I really enjoyed that. All in all, like, Collision was fine. It wasn't super duper mega, but it was a good show. I thought the Virgin Theater was a nice place for them to run. That was a nice venue for them. It was another theater sized venue, and they had a pretty good turnout. So people enjoyed themselves.
Yeah, that was a cool venue. I did like the setup there. Mox is attacking people with tire irons or crowbars, depending on who you're talking to or who you're listening to.
This is I mentioned this too. I don't think TK knows what a standby match is, because that thing was overbooked with a capital O. Where's our logo? Just splash it across the screen. You got the crew out there in their fanciest spike jackets. You've got who was on? You got Dralistico over on Spanish commentary. Who was on English commentary for that match? Someone was on English commentary. And then you also had Harleygram in the back watching the match. And then you had Beast Mortos approach Harleygram because they're going to start a love interest angle. Which, by the way, when they do the stare down, watch closely. You see Harley start to laugh at the end of that spot. Like, you see her chest start to like go like she's laughing. Like, you see her mask start to move and she's laughing, and then they cut away from it. And Mortos also almost broke. It was.
I don't think anybody was on English commentary. Are you thinking of the main event where they had Garcia and Cole?
I know they were both on it. There was something that everyone had overrepresentation in the match. So maybe there was no one on the English commentary, but there was just enough going on that it was like, this isn't a standby match. This is a you booked this very clearly match. And then
I don't know. It felt pretty standby to me. Like, Hologram and Top Flight, just go out there. You guys are teaming now. I'm tired of how it was, because it was hilarious that.
But you had someone on commentary, you had someone in the back, you had two people in the back, you had two more people come out with chairs to go watch the match. It was very convoluted for what was considered a standby match.
Yeah, because it was, we weren't planning for this. Let's just send a bunch of people out there. Go out there. I thought it was hilarious that, like, Hologram teams with Top Flight, and then they're running a video package for Hologram and Command Air, and then Hologram was teaming with Hobbs last week. Like, can we get him with some consistency with Hologram and who he's going to team with? Shouldn't be teaming with anybody. He should be beating singles guys and earning a world title shot. Dude's undefeated. Why isn't he fighting for titles?
He's just putting the hoe in Hologram. Oh, you had to cough right when I made that joke. Perfect.
No.
He puts the hoe in Hologram. That's all. Works with everyone he can. I agree with you. It's very strange that they want to like maximize his TV minutes, but they don't know how to do it beyond putting him with everybody. It was fine. And now they're doing, they're calling the team like Lucha Stars, him and Commander team. I think Commander needs to drop that ROH TV title before anything happens.
Why? He just gets the title on TV. It's not going to change anything.
I just like the team is, how many times can Commander eat the pin? Because that's what this team is.
Well, they haven't lost yet, though.
Yeah, because Hologram gets the pin.
Yeah, I don't think they're losing to Dralistico and Beast Mortos.
Well, Rush is probably going to come back and make sure that they do win.
Nah.
And then you're going to do Commander versus Rush for the TV title. New ROH TV champion Rush. Man, does anyone watch that show?
I like how Hologram's been feuding with Beast Mortos like since September, if you really think about it. His second match actually in AEW was against Beast Mortos. That was July. It's like the only person he wrestles is just Beast Mortos. They're great matches, mind you. I would just like, an actual, feud for Hologram and like some upward trajectory for this man.
I mean, then they would need to get more bases.
Nah.
That's really the big problem, is that they don't have many like big lucha bases. Jules saying, I watch ROH. How dare you? Listen, our website doesn't even watch Ring of Honor anymore. For some reason, now we're putting up like clips from Ring of Honor during the shows on Thursday. I'm like, who's doing this? Why are you doing this? Stop doing this.
Oh, I know who's doing it.
Who is doing it? Is it still Kyler, or is someone else doing it at night?
No, Kyler doesn't work Thursdays. Bless him. I actually don't know. He might work Thursdays. Kate does the socials for Ring of Honor and stuff on Thursdays.
Oh, that's awful. We need to stop her from doing that. I'm going to have a conversation with Kate later on. We're going to go on the internet and call it Conversations with Kate, where Joel just basically asks the question, why are you doing this? And then becomes a 2-hour show about nothing. It's kind of like this show.
Yeah, fair.
Anyway, yeah, Collision was fine. It was, again, nothing super duper exciting to write home about. I thought the stuff with Megan Bayne and Thunder Rosa was good enough for a bit of a through line. You had the attack on Thunder Rosa by Megan Bayne earlier in the night, and then Thunder Rosa cuts a fire promo, says we're going to fight anyway, says she has giant ovaries, and they have their match. And Megan Bayne beats Thunder Rosa. Time as Toni Storm comes out, she cut a promo earlier talking about fighting her everywhere. I could not fight her here. I will not fight. Anyway, you get the idea. And Chris Statlander's involved. So now we're doing Statlander and Megan Bayne on Wednesday, aren't we?
Yeah, they're running that back. That'll be interesting if they put another victory on Bayne over Statlander there, because I feel like Megan Bayne should be losing if she's about to challenge for the world title, the women's world title. But giving Statlander another L is curious as well. So see how they book that match. I'd have Bayne win. Like if you're gonna have her be the next challenger, she should be beating Chris Statlander, because Statlander is as great as she is, not really in a program right now.
She'll be Megan Bayne will be undefeated going into that match against Toni. Like that's
what I would assume.
That should be the whole setup, is how is Toni Storm going to beat this unstoppable monster, Megan Bayne? And then she's going to. And then everyone's going to be like, oh, that's how. All right.
Yeah, that's what I would assume. But we'll see on Wednesday how they play that match. Should be good once again. Their first match was really good. And I like that they're going with Megan Bayne, and she's Toni Storm's next challenger.
I understand why they're doing it. I still think they could have waited a little longer, but it's.
Then you're just giving Toni Storm a challenger of the month. Like I think this is the right call to just go with it with Megan Bayne, because they didn't have anybody else waiting in the wings. Like just go with who you have right now. Go with who's hot right now, and that's Megan Bayne. We talked about it. They didn't have. We're throwing out like Serena Deeb and Nyla Rose, and it's just, again, challenger of the month people that no one could get excited for. This is a good follow-up to Toni and Mariah. And I mean, how many times do they do the title change and then there's no follow-up, or do a big title program and then the follow-up isn't good, especially with the women? This was the right call. It's a great follow-up to Toni and Mariah.
Counterpoint, Momo Watanabe. Everyone was like, it's going to suck. And then ended up being one of the best matches of the night of Revolution. You can get away with it. You just need the right person to show up on 2 weeks' notice and make it a hot match. I know Momo had also won the Wrestle Dynasty match to get the title shot. But you could have done something like that.
But what's the hot match? Again, when we were looking
at
names,
Shida once again.
Yeah, like I got no issue with Shida. Like that would have been fine. Excuse me. Shida would have been fine. They just didn't have anybody. Like they didn't. Like anybody they would have gone with would have just felt like challenger of the month. That's it. At least with Megan Bayne, there's real intrigue of Megan Bayne might win. Like, I suspect Toni's going to win, but you're getting way more 50-50 here than if you would have just done, people mentioning, Shida, Riho, Lady Frost. Like, they weren't going to beat Toni Storm. There was no chance. Megan Bayne is a credible challenger to Toni Storm.
Yes. Part of the problem is that they haven't built anyone else up to be a credible challenger right now. But the hope is that they'll refocus and start building more of that talent, because that is, again, that's one of the blind spots in the women's division is, you know, people are just like, oh, it's one match. Oh, but they're doing all these segments. And it's like, yes, they may be adding some, 30-second clips here and there of talking, but if they're not getting matches and they're not winning and they're not looking reputable, then the talking doesn't matter. You have to win matches to build your credible opponents. And that's why people advocate for more than one women's match, especially when the women you're showcasing are either the champions themselves or someone who's just kind of on TV to be on TV. You're not necessarily building a challenger, but you've done it now with Megan Bayne. This should be not the exception to the rule. This should be the new rule moving forward. This was the same thing with Mercedes. We were talking about how Mercedes at one point, it just felt like you're throwing baddies of the month at her. You're just throwing challengers at her. The Billy Starks match that they're going to have, I thought they were going to do this a little later, but instead they'll do it in are they doing it in Omaha, or are they doing it 2 weeks from now?
They haven't, I don't think, confirmed when this match is taking place. Like, it's not on the website that it's on Wednesday, the AEW website, and they don't have anything listed for 2 weeks out. So,
okay. So regardless,
it's unofficial. Whenever it does happen, it's unofficial.
Yeah. So I would like it to be a dynasty. That's my feeling, but I don't know if that's going to be when it happens. Regardless, at least with someone like Billy, just like there was with Momo, there's been a few levels to get there. And if to get there is to get to a match with Athena, whether that's at Double or Nothing or All In or sometime after or before that, then good. They should be working towards that. That's kind of what I need more of in the women's division of storytelling in AEW. It's good to build challengers, not just have random women go on win streaks just to say I want a title shot. You need to build them somehow.
I'd give Billy a couple wins on TV before doing a Mercedes match. You know, somebody mentioned Penelope Ford before doing Megan Bayne. We talked about her as well. Is like, she hasn't won matches. Her last singles victory was Robin Renegade on Collision in October. Like, Penelope Ford makes sense because of the alignment with Megan Bayne, and maybe Toni Storm faces Penelope Ford on a Dynamite leading up to the pay-per-view. But as far as like a next challenger program, Penelope Ford didn't make a lot of sense because she, like so many other of the women, just hadn't won a whole lot. And Megan Bayne had been winning. I love the call that they went with Megan Bayne. It doesn't feel forced. Bayne was presented as a big star from the start, protected in matches, winning big matches, and it's a credible challenger to Toni that doesn't just feel, here's your challenger of the month coming off your big world title victory.
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out, but she is the best challenger that they have right now, and I'm glad they're going with it. I have already told you why I feel like it could have been longer, but it makes sense to do it the way they're doing it. Is there anything else from Collision that's worth bringing up? Because otherwise, it was a pretty cut and paste thing. You mentioned the Swerve program and Mox coming out and using a tire iron and then going out into the broad daylight of Vegas because it's 6 o'clock there at the time. Again, I thought it was fine. It's effective. It's just Mox now for the time being until I guess Nana comes back and then Wheeler Yuta comes back. I don't know. But Swerve and Mox will eventually have to heat up going into Dynasty more than it's already started to. This was fine.
It's just Mox Oos.
Day one, Mox listen, he's already using the Seth Rollins finisher, so clearly he's just getting ready to go back to WWE. Mox was fine. And by the way, shout out to Mercedes. Went to House of Glory, had a great match against Indy Hartwell. Not too long, not too short. Crowd was into it. Loved it.
He called him rated R Superman. That ruled.
Yes, he did.
Mox was so all over the place in that promo. It was fantastic.
Just let me get out of here so I can go back to my old favorite haunts. I used to live here, I got to go hang out at the Cosmopolitan Hotel. They still got that thing. Where's Circus? I used to love that place. Gonna go ride the trolley.
I think Mox is winning at Dynasty. It's gonna upset a lot of people, but I think he's winning.
I've been kind of on that train too. Like
Yeah.
we'll see. We will see, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because again, if they're really okay, I've said this 100 million times. They don't pivot very much in AEW. They've done it a couple of times recently, and I give them full credit for that. They got out of the Jeff Jarrett stuff. They moved away from some of what Moxley was doing, going with the Cope stuff. But like, I feel like they're not doing big full on like we're going to change the title because the fans want to get out of it. No, I feel like they're really going point A to point B to point C, and a lot of people are just kind of trying to get the will themselves there. I think Moxley's going to win. I think that we're going to get to Darby. I do. And if Darby's going to be okay by July, then perfect. I really need you to give some credence to the idea that they'll show a Darby video at the end of Dynasty, and it's going to be first person footage, camera on his head, climbing through the snowy mountains, trying to get through all this crap and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden the sun's coming up, boom, flag planted in the ground, and Darby's there, and there's a drone shot, and it's the AEW flag, and Darby's on the top of Everest, or maybe on a base camp, who knows, and then lights go down, like boom, and everyone's like, oh, he's coming back, and like that's it, he's coming back. And that's how Darby starts his climb to winning the AEW World Championship. Which one do you think is more important to him? Winning the AEW World title or climbing Mount Everest? Successfully, assuming he does so.
Climbing Everest. It's climbing Everest. He wants to go there. He wants to plant the AEW flag at the top of Everest. This means so much to him. Like, he broke his foot last year, and he's like, that's not stopping me. Like, I'm just gonna go next year. He can win this world title at any time. Climbing Everest can only do for 3 months out of a year.
He also got hit by a bus. We can never underappreciate the fact that he also got hit in the face by a bus.
It's definitely climbing Everest for him.
I think it is too, but the man's like, I am going to plant the flag in AEW. Like, I'm going to plant the AEW flag on the top of Mount Everest. There's a part of me that's like, I really wonder if this guy's like, all right, I did Everest, now I'm going to go win the world title. I think we're going to see a video. I have that feeling. You cannot write off Darby Allin, throw him off stairs in like you're going to go climb Everest, we're going to throw you off the stairs like we're going to throw you off of Everest. Like, that is exactly what you wanted to think. Yeah, people are mentioning Hangman versus Swerve it all in. I think it's more likely you do Hangman versus MJF again and make it like a Texas death match. You're in Texas.
Nah, they were heavy-handed with that MJ or that Swerve and Hangman tease with the all-in promo. They were. I saw a lot of people mention that, and I thought the same thing of like, oh, you might be playing with fire here if you keep teasing it this way and don't deliver on it. But the thing is, they can do that match, but maybe the world title is not on the line. I think it should be. I do think it will be. I do think that's still the match at All In. Is it Swerve and Hangman for the world title? Now, how you get there, when Hangman gets the title, when Swerve gets the title, different story. But I do think that's the match for the title.
They'll just do Swerve versus Mox a week after Dynasty in a plunder match.
And then put the title on Swerve on the TV show.
Yeah, yeah.
I do wish like we see more title changes on television. You know,
when was the last one? Was that Hurt Business winning the tag titles?
No, I mean world title.
Oh, that was
because
that was Double or Nothing, right? Or not Double or was that the Winter's Coming?
Because technically, Tony beating Mariah was a television show. So I'm talking men's world title. This goes for both companies, by the way, because I know WWE just did Io winning the women's title on Raw. You just don't see the world title changes on television. The only reason like this thought popped in my head because Luger just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. Luger famously won the world title on an episode of Nitro. Granted, lost it 6 days later at the pay-per-view. Goldberg, of course, won the world title on television. as well. They used to do title changes a lot on WWE television. Austin won a world title on TV. Foley's win was on TV. And I know back then it meant more because like we're trying to pop ratings, we're trying to pop numbers there. The pay-per-views still mean something, but don't mean as much. Like you're still trying to get television viewers. Your TV contracts are your big money contracts. Like that's where everybody gets their money from, especially WWE. They're not selling pay-per-views. They can do these title changes on TV and not be a big deal at all. I would like to just see a company being WWE or AEW, because those are the two companies with television time. Sorry, TNA. Do a world title change on TV. And granted, they did it in NXT because Oba won the title on a TV show, not on a pay-per-view. So at least in NXT, they've done it. I'd like to see main roster or AEW do that. Yeah, the Mox and Punk squash was the last time kind of happened in AEW, if you want to count that. I mean, they were both champions, but you can count it. I mean, I was there for it. That was fantastic.
It was they did the squash. That was to unify the interim and the world title. But then they had Punk. Then they had the Grand Slam Tournament of Champions. That was shortly after that. And
but you knew a title was coming. Like that's not a title change.
It was a new title, I guess, because it was vacant or it was vacant.
Yeah, I'm not counting that.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't even like fully counting the unification because it was a unification match. There's no real change on that. You knew somebody was coming away with the world title. Like I'm talking about like an actual world title change. I do think it was Kenny. For WWE, it was Big E cashing in was probably when it happened.
2021.
Yeah.
That's a long time. I'm going to double check, but you may be right.
Because before that, it was Lashley beating Miz, and that was on an episode of Raw. So yeah, 2021 was Big E cashing in, and even Mox and Punk was that 2021, 2022. That was 2022.
Which
Mox
one?
Punk. The squash.
That's 2022. Yeah.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah. So still, it's been almost 3 years since we've had that. We just don't see the men's world title change hands too much on television. I would just like to see a company, do it. Cope wins on Wednesday, everybody. That's what I'm getting at.
Could you imagine? Cope versus Swerve at Dynasty. I mean, it's a fresh match somehow. Big E is the last one for the world title. Gunther won it at the pay-per-view. He won it at SummerSlam.
Yeah. And Big E was a cash in. Yes. So that's another one where it's like, all right, cool, cash in. The last like actual match, I know I'm putting a bunch of qualifiers in there now, so I get if people are like, oh, it's still happening. Like, yeah, it did. I'm not dismissing it. But like the actual like match where there was a change was Lashley and Miz, which was earlier in the year, and that was Thunderdome crowd too. So that wasn't even like in front of an audience.
They were cashing that in so hard. Big E sending the tweet out being like, I'm cashing in my Money in the Bank briefcase tonight on Raw. And everyone was like, why are you calling your shot? Why are you doing this? And obviously it worked, but it was like this big ratings grab. It was great for Big E, awful from like a business or just a creative idea standpoint. But Big E won, so I guess everyone's okay with it. Anyway, that was the end. That was Collision. Collision and a lot of world championship title talk. Speaking of world titles, John Cena returns tonight. Raw's in Brussels in a few hours.
Hell
Looking forward to an afternoon episode of Raw where I will sample the first 90 minutes and then decide whether the final hour is worth it to come back to. That's how I felt about SmackDown. Point is here, John Cena is going to return. Cody on. Someone talking about no main event talk. 2 tag teams wrestled while 2 championship challengers jaw-jacked on the microphones poorly at ringside. Sorry, I just can't get into FTR in the main event of Collision against Roddy and O'Reilly. It was fine.
And then they didn't shake their hands afterward.
I want to shake your hand. I don't want to shake your hand. Sorry, it was what it was. It was just a main event. There you go. Cena is, sorry, I'm just dealing with this. Cena coming back tonight. Cody Rhodes had come out on SmackDown during Miz TV and effectively said, I don't want to talk to anyone else. I just want to talk to John Cena. See you in Brussels. The big conversation tonight is, what does the Cena return look like? Some people are saying it comes in, does a mic drop. People are talking about coming in and having a new theme that's, Dr. Thugonomics or something like that. And others are just saying he comes in and pretends like nothing happened, but he's still a bad guy. I kind of like the third one. It's very, very meta John Cena-esque.
He should just walk out. No music. No music, everybody.
Oh, the Ciampa method.
Just walk out there in his suit. Yeah, he's all corporate now. He's corporate Cena. Comes out in his suit. And Cody comes out. And Cody is wearing his Nightmare t-shirt and jorts.
Shorts.
And
Do you think Cody has ever worn shorts in his life?
shorts? Yeah, he's worn shorts.
I mean to the ring. I'm talking like to cut a promo.
I think so. I feel like in AEW he did at some point.
No, he's been in his underpants, but I don't think he's ever been in shorts. Cody Rhodes in shorts cutting promo.
What? Just do Cody Rhodes in shorts.
Then I'm going to get like photos of him out and about with his kid.
Well,
yeah, like the first thing that comes up is Cody in his underpants for the weigh-in.
Yeah, for the weigh-in. Yeah,
And
that counts.
And the chalk line. No, those are different shorts.
What do you mean? That counts.
In his very tidy, weird. Yeah, the second photo is his 40th birthday celebration. Oh no, this is something else. Sorry, someone else said 40th. Anyway,
so Cody comes out in jorts. I don't care. He comes out in jorts. Maybe he comes out with the American Nightmare boxers. It's just all merchandised out. And then he yells at John Cena, and Cena just stands there. He doesn't say anything. Cody's like demanding answers. Cena's just standing there. He's not going to say anything. He's not going to give this goofball Cody anything. And then finally Cody gets fed up, and he's like, all right, we're going to go now. And then John Cena hits him with the Hadouken punch, and Cody's just laid out. And John Cena just walks away. No words. Doesn't say anything tonight. One Hadouken punch in his suit. Cody's laid out. That's it.
Didn't he call it like the lightning punch when he was doing his 6th move of doom? And it was a very awkward punch in the face. That's what I remember from John Cena. Doing that in a flash.
Yeah, rolled. Yeah, he like charged up. He's like,
yeah, that thing sucked.
yeah, it was so bad, but it still ruled.
All right, so I pulled a U, and I sent a tweet out saying, has Cody Rhodes, and I tagged Cody Rhodes, ever cut a promo in shorts, not counting the weigh-in? Those were his boxers. We're gonna see. Either Cody gets back to us, or someone else figures it out for us.
Still shorts. I still think they count.
I don't think you're cutting a promo and your boxers don't count. Otherwise, then most of us have cut promos in the bathroom every day.
Yeah.
Daily affirmations. We'll see.
How do you think this plays out? What do you think is actually going to happen?
So there's part of me that, because there's so many people wondering how this plays out, that they just make you wait, especially because like it's 3 p.m. on a Monday. You're not getting your average viewership for Raw. People can watch it later. That's fine. But like, I feel like they play it out until WrestleMania to show you a presentation. I think by WrestleMania, he will have a new theme. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. Him and Travis Scott working on something together. I think that's a good idea, because clearly it ties everything together. They're working with The Rock, blah, blah, blah. Like
Scene.
Yeah, exactly. Scene. And then he could just get 70,000 people doing the same thing. So I'm wondering if maybe they do that, and just week after week he doesn't have a theme, or I don't know what he would do, but I think they might just make us wait, because it builds the anticipation for what does bad guy John Cena look like. Maybe he comes out to bad man, right, from his album. I don't think they'll go back. I don't think they'll go backwards with this presentation. And then there's that part of me, like I said, where he might just come out to his own theme, like his My Time Is Now theme, showers of booze, and he'll be like, look at that, I'm used to this. Let me take you down memory lane. Back in 2011, I would come out and this is the response I would get. And I bled for you and I did this for you. And it makes it a you people thing. And then he explains himself. Maybe that's what I would like. But him coming out to his regular theme, it's like nothing else happened. He'll be like, it's still me. I'm still John Cena, but I realized I need to do what I need to do to get my title. And Cody, you're in the way. You're in my way of life. And then Roman Reigns in the back being like, fine speech. I don't know otherwise how you would do it. I think it's either he's going to play it straight, or he's going to have a brand new presentation, or nothing at all. And they're going to drag it out till Mania.
All right, here's my other suggestion.
Of course.
My Time Is Now hits. Do the horns. I was going to do it, but my voice hurts too much to fully go with that. There you go. All right, and we get like a kind of a wide shot. And then we go into like a zoom in, and then a cameraman just comes flying from out the back. Remember when The Rock tossed like Jey Uso and during the final boss and Jey Uso just came flying from the entranceway? It's that, but it's a cameraman. And it's Stu. And John Cena has thrown Stu from the backstage area. And so he just comes out and he just looks down at Stu. And then he just walks to the ring after throwing Stu to the ground. Michael Cole is freaking out on commentary. How could he do this to Stu? Stu, who has shot the entrance for John Cena for 20 years. John Cena just disrespected him like that. Michael Cole's having a conniption out there on commentary. And that's how the heel presentation of John Cena starts, is Stu getting his ass beat.
Poor Stu. I think it was our pal Ella J. She went to the Raw in Buffalo the night after, or the Monday after Elimination Chamber, and she was sitting by the entranceway. And I think she got the scoop that like Stu went on vacation after that show, the Elimination Chamber show. So it turned into Stu was so busted up over John Cena starting heel that he took a mental health break. Oh, he needs to come back. They need to have John Cena needs to have some altercation with Stu, with R-Truth obviously is another one. Everyone that he with Austin Theory, he in theory need to have like a moment.
No, they don't. Stop it.
Theory needs to, I know he's your favorite. He needs to walk up to him and just be like, I'm glad you did it. You need like AI Wyatt being like, you did it. You gave into the hate. And he's like, I did it for you. And he gives it a big hug, and that's it. That's closure. But he needs to have some sort of interaction with everyone who's ever told him to turn heel, except for the guy who wears red and he's an asshole.
He does not need any interaction with Austin Theory. Stop it. If they want to kill my interest, that's what they'll do. They'll pair up Austin Theory and John Cena.
You're just one person. Oh, two people, because now the anonymous ITW general manager is saying you stop that.
Yeah.
Well, that's two people, but it's fine, because if it were a Nielsen household, it'd only be 1 point anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Stop it. I don't need Austin Theory. He's going to get beat up by Jey Uso tonight. So
sorry.
No, don't have any interaction with Austin Theory and John Cena.
It's going to be really funny, because Jimmy's going to show up tonight, and it's going to be Jimmy and Jay versus Theory and Waller next week, because you just know. You know it's happening. Jimmy's going to come out.
My wife has brought me tea.
Oh, good. Tell her that Austin Theory is going to come bring you tea next.
No. I don't need that. Just beat up Stu. That's all I'm asking for. I feel like this is a pretty easy thing to accomplish. And if you want to get some heat, you beat up a poor cameraman who you've given a shout out to on all of your entrances.
That's why he needs to come out tonight. And instead of beating up Stu, he just needs to come up and go to Stu's camera and just flip him the bird. And just be like, fuck you, Stu. And then he walks by, pie faces the camera, and that's it. And then they get a shot of Stu, single tear just going down his face.
Right, my Survivor, good luck. Hope it goes well.
Oh, dude, best of luck. I hope it goes well too. I'm reading that now. Good luck to you. Hopefully it goes well. Say it again. Tenruza, by the way, sent a couple super chats. I think they're in a different mindset this morning, saying, with Irish family, happy St. Pat's, US, do it, OTT, stop. Now, the second half, were you doing this on, like, was this talk to speech?
What?
US, do it, OTT, stop.
I thought he was giving a shout out to Over the Top Wrestling.
So did I, but they're not coming to. I mean, OTT is the Irish wrestling company.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stop. Anyway, and the reason why I think they might be a little inebriated is because you better have a Guinness, not green Guinness, says Tenruza. Well, you know what? Whatever Chicago's serving is what I'm going to drink because I'm not actually in Chicago.
You're not going to Chicago. What are you talking about?
No, I'm not allowed to go to Chicago because then I have to listen to Phil Lindsay tell me about how Chicago's the best city in the world.
Oh.
Shout out to Chicago and Phil Lindsay. We love him. That's just like, what do your favorite podcasters do? And one of them is always like trying to talk about their favorite town. Unless your favorite podcaster is Tony Khan, then every town is your favorite town.
Yeah.
Can't wait to come back here. Anyway, add Stu to the Mania match. Stu versus Cena versus Cody.
Bro, Stu would kick both of their asses. Stack them, Stu. Penn, Cena, and Cody would rule.
Michael Cole at the end of the night, just losing his shit, losing his voice. WrestleMania Sunday, he's got to do Raw the next night, but he's completely devoid of a voice. Let's go. Oh man.
So the show should open with it, you like through lines, Joel. So
I do. I am a big fan. I feel like the Cena thing's going to end the night, but sure.
Well, yes, but you got to listen to what I'm about to say here.
Yeah, I got you.
The show should open with Triple H. He doesn't want to be on camera, obviously. You know, he's forced to be on camera, but he's talking with Stu. He's like, you good to do this tonight? Like, everything good? Stu's like, yeah, I'm professional. You know, come to work, show up. And he's like, okay, all right. So that way it establishes further who Stu is. And then at the end of the night, when Cena comes out, he beats the shit out of him.
Stop it. People reacting to your tweet already about
John Stu's going to be the biggest babyface in the company by the end of the night if I had the book.
May as well give him a tag team championship while you're at it.
That's fine.
That's fine. Him and Nicholas.
What's old Nicholas doing?
We never really figured that out, did we? He was 9 at WrestleMania 34. That was in 2018. So how many years is that since then? Has it been 8 years? How old is this kid? How old is Nicholas?
I don't know. I can't do math.
Somebody called John Cone. Didn't he had, we've done this before. He has a Twitter, but we don't know if it's him. Anyway, just John Cena coming back tonight. He needs to beat up Stu, and then Stu and Nicholas win the tag titles. That's really what we're getting at, right?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad we had this chat. I don't know presentation wise what Cena coming out looks like. I think he'll just come out to his regular theme. And it'll confuse the hell out of people.
He should come out to We Didn't Want You to Know. That's on his album. I'm very familiar with the John Cena album.
I'm sure you are.
Regular rotation for me. That's very baseline low. It's not like a hype song. Like Bad Man is still like a hype song. You know what I mean? The mic in my hand, I'm a bad man. Like it still gets you pumped up.
Yeah. He needs like a down song.
Yeah, like We Didn't Want You to Know is kind of a lower, like that gives Mob Boss kind of like vibes out there. So that no one would recognize it, but I don't know if people are gonna recognize Bad Man. I know like it was popular like 20 years ago, but
I really don't think he's gonna come out to anything that he cut on his album that was like 20 years ago. Didn't he release that thing in like 2004?
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
It's been out for over 20 years at this point. But I don't think he'll go back to basic thugonomics either. He did that. He even did it at the WrestleMania, the Pandemic Mania. He did a segment where he had it. He did it with the Elias beatdown, whatever that was, when he was calling out the Undertaker. Oh no, that was when did he come out to that? Was that 35? It was 35 for the Elias match. Came out as Word Life John Cena. Dr.
Oh, yeah,
Dynamite.
yeah. Next, people are like, why isn't he facing Kurt Angle? What is this dumb song?
Yeah.
What is it? What is this dumb segment?
So like he's done it before. There's no reason to do it again, and he'll get a huge pop for coming out to it. That's why I really think that they'll either do his current theme and let the boos rain down, or he'll come out to nothing and they'll build something up all the way up until a new theme at WrestleMania. It's as easy as that. Like, why change it? Also, like, they give him a new theme unless Cody's already in the ring and calls him out. Like, you gotta, it's that response, that automatic response you have when you hear something, that Pavlovian response. I think that John Cena's theme, the way it is now, just coming out to My Time Is Now, people are going to hear that and they'll immediately be like, boo this guy, because I know this is John Cena. A new theme, you have to wait for that reaction. You have to wait for that. Oh, what is this music? Oh, what is this good music? Is it bad music? Just have him come out to the My Time Is Now theme, boo him, and then do a new track for WrestleMania, because that's a good time to debut something, and have Travis Scott rap over it live in the arena if you want.
He should come out to a Def Rebel NWO mix. What if they handed the NWO theme to Def Rebel and said, work your magic on this?
We have that. It's called the band theme from TNA.
Oh, yeah, that sucked.
It sucked real bad. See, folks, there is a reason why you got a TNA guy on your show. I can remind you of the worst possible outcomes and actually have some empirical data to go by. The band, look up the band TNA theme, BAND, not band as in not allowed. The band was the NWO ripoff from TNA. Go listen to that theme. It was so bad.
Yeah, I remember that theme. Yeah, that was awful.
It was really bad.
I think they should do My Time Is Now. Like, I think you can do that because you still get the John Cena sucks chant, you know?
Yes,
So,
heavy too.
Yeah. So
Can
that you might be able to.
How do you say that in Dutch? Whatever they speak in Brussels. We did this before. Yeah. Brussels official language. There's 3 of them. The French and Dutch. They'll
do John Cena. They'll do John Cena sucks.
Yeah,
they'll chant it in American English, I should say.
American.
That Kurt Angle theme was banging. The trademark Kurt Angle theme.
Oh yeah,
it was a good song.
Yeah. Once in a while they got it, man, but a lot of times they did not.
That would actually be good if the intro is just, and his name is John Cena.
Just lean into the meme. You get none of the desired response, all of the desired laughter.
That would rule, actually.
Yeah.
It's just a phone call. So it's the phone ringing. It's just that clip over, like, that's his theme. There's somebody calling, and then it's just somebody picking up, and it's like, hello? It's like, hello, is this Mary? Like, yes, this is Mary. Mary, congratulations. We want to tell you, and his name is John Cena.
That sounds awful. I'd love to see it. The old rock theme with the helicopter is cooking. Except his name is John Cena. Oh, God. It'll be a very funny episode if he comes out in the Rock's theme or he comes out to the meme themes. Every week, a new John Cena presentation. It's just memes of John Cena. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it'll be, they got to start heating this up. It's already pretty hot. They let it simmer for a couple of weeks because he wasn't there. But John Cena coming back tonight is going to draw some eyeballs, whether you watch it live or you watch it after the fact. Give him the Don Callis Brown note.
I'll be watching live. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they got in store for old John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Because Cody's, we did that thing with The Miz on Friday, and that just felt like, all right, we got to get Cody on the show to do something, have him beat up The Miz. Cody's like, if you show up, like, Cody's advertised. What do you mean? Like, he's already been announced for this show here, Cody. They've already put it on the graphic under the same roof. Cody's making it seem like I challenge you to show up. It's like, well, he's already advertised and booked for the show, Cody. You're not like throwing something out there that isn't already known. But he's the captain now.
I mean, that's also true. But like AJ Styles, he was going to call out Logan Paul, and Logan Paul went out first. So maybe that's what we're getting out of here.
Yeah, that was. Well, Logan Paul knew he was going to get called out. He was just getting ahead of things so he could go out there and do that dumb segment with Andrew Schultz.
Dumb. That Miz TV from Friday was also, I agree with Jay Girl saying it was the best in a while. You know why? Because Miz said basically nothing and got beat up and had two different angles playing out at the same time, with him being like not part of it at all, other than getting beat up. Tiffany and Charlotte renewed their hostilities. Charlotte beats BFAB. By the way, never let your talent speak the language of the country you're in if they're going to sound the way BFAB did when she tried to speak Spanish. That hurt my ears. That was Peggy Hill levels of bad. Don't do that. If you can speak it, go for it. If you can't, don't try, please. It's like if I walk into a certain part of like Quebec, like the hardcore French Quebecois, Quebec, and I start speaking in French, you know what I will be greeted with? Them trying to speak to me in English instead. It doesn't work. So anyway, Charlotte beats BFAB, and then Tiffany Stratton comes running. And by the way, don't let your wrestlers who look the same wear the same gear.
Yeah, they both had pink, and I'm like, who's got the advantage?
What are we doing here? That part, I was just like, who allowed this? Who thought this was a good idea? It was I'm seeing double here. 4 Charlottes. And then they beat each other up twice. They did it in the ring. Everyone did they Charlotte, Tiffany missed Charlotte by a mile, but they still all went down. And then later on, Miz TV starts, and then they come out. They're battling through the middle of the entryway, which I thought was cool. And then Tiffany somehow made it all the way up to the where the top of the thing was, and she did the moonsault again, and this time kind of almost hit Charlotte, and it was good. Everyone went down together. But yeah, the whole point of all this was Miz TV didn't really happen because Cody comes out, does the whoa, and then the second whoa gets cut off by Miz, and Miz then gets the shit kicked out of him because Cody Rhodes really needs you to go and sing with his theme because it makes him feel good about himself.
Cody doing his little drop uppercut in his suit is the funniest thing in the world to me. He's like, I got this suit on. You know what I'm going to do? Drop to my back and hit you with an uppercut. I know he's in like his tracksuit and everything, but like anytime he does this move that's not in like the wrestling match, it looks hilarious when he does this. So him doing it with his suit pants and his tracksuit, that move looks so dumb in a non-wrestling context. Like, fine, you do it in the wrestling ring, I get it, especially if like somebody's going for a back body drop. Let me counter by doing this. But just like kicking him in the gut and then just like dropping to your back to do your little drop uppercut is so funny to me.
It's very dorky, but so is Cody, so it works.
Just laugh when he does it.
It's like Action Andretti doing a springboard omelet during a brawl with the Hurt Business or the Hurt Syndicate.
It's like, what'll get this man if I kick him in the gut and then drop to my back so I can punch him or like slap him upwards in the face. Like, dude, you could just like knee him in the face and it'd be way more effective. You could kick him in the face and it'd be way more effective. Like, no, let me drop to my back to cut upward at him.
It's the upward trajectory, the upward momentum that catches them. That's all.
It just looks so dumb when he does it in a non-wrestling setting and he does it in like his suits or his track suits and everything. Just laugh at it. Bless Cody. Rules.
He beats up Miz. But yeah, Tiffany and Charlotte. What do you think of this week's Tiffany and Charlotte beatdown segment?
At least Tiffany got an up on Charlotte. Like this is what they do when they want to heat something up, right? They just do a big old pull apart brawl. And that's what they did here. Like Tiffany missing Charlotte didn't help matters because it's just, you dominoed her over. Okay, sure. It was fine. They tried with this. Like they tried to give it some extra heat, but it feels kind of cold right now. And when they get on the mic, it's gonna feel really cold when Charlotte's just trucking her.
Is
Like
she? I don't know about that. We'll see.
when they actually get on the mic, oh, like I'm not saying like Charlotte is a better promo than Tiffany, but Charlotte's just gonna say things that completely undercut what is happening. Like she's already doing it on Twitter where she's just like, "You're a cheap imitation with limited range." Like she's just gonna undercut all of this stuff, and that's gonna be the issue. I don't think Charlotte is. I don't think either of them are like super standout promos or anything. But I do think Charlotte is going to be super dismissive and just talk down to Tiffany the whole time. And I don't know if Tiffany can fight back in a way that makes her look as good. I hope she can. Maybe Tiffany will prove me wrong. Maybe Tiffany has material to where it's like, oh, okay. It's not like there's a lack of material, but I just don't know if she's gonna be able to pull it off. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope she can.
I think you're going to be wrong.
Okay.
I think they're going to have no. I really don't know. I can tell you this much. I think it was Ellie in the chat saying you can tell Charlotte didn't want to do this program. I'm pretty sure she pitched this match. I'm going to go back to the select report when we reported that Charlotte and Tiffany was on the cards. But
Charlotte's been saying she's wanted to face Tiffany for a while, and Tiffany's been saying the same thing, that she wanted to face Charlotte. Like when Charlotte was out and everything, she talked about wanting to face Tiffany. So yeah, I don't think that. I mean, look, if that's the vibe Charlotte gets, I get it, but I don't think it's a thing of Charlotte didn't want to do this. I think it's just Charlotte wants to be in the main event, and Charlotte wants to be presented as the top person, and she a lot of times she does come off like that, but she wants to be in the main event. She wants to prove everybody wrong with her presentation, and sometimes that can be a little like, if it doesn't have that, she doesn't lean in fully to the work on screen until it's time to go, and then in the ring she has a great match. But maybe that's what people are seeing, is she knows it's probably not a main event match at WrestleMania, and she feels a little dismissive of things. But I don't think it's a thing of, oh, Charlotte doesn't want to work with Tiffany. I think she really does. But I think she wants it to be bigger than it's being presented as.
So I fully agree with that. I think it's a presentational issue more than it is the actual match wanting to happen. From the report, which, by the way, January 25th, that's how long we had it out there before the match actually happened. Tiffany Stratton has often been compared to Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte has said that Tiffany cited her as the reason she became a wrestler. In multiple interviews in recent years, Stratton has expressed her interest in facing Flair. And then we go on to talk about Stratton's rise and Flair's injury, but the general consensus is that those two were on a collision course. Someone had pointed out, before she was injured, Charlotte did the Toodles on SmackDown even before Tiffy was called up. So there's been a connection there, but like you were alluding to, it's very possible that she wasn't the biggest fan of the actual presentation of the match, but she's down to do the match.
Yeah, that's my read on things, is she wants the match. Like she wants to be in the main event, and this is not a main event match. It's not necessarily Charlotte's fault. It's not necessarily Tiffany's fault. It's where they are on the card based on where everybody else is on the card. And Charlotte laying her out every single week just hasn't exactly put a ton of heat on things. Charlotte on commentary didn't do a whole lot to build up the match or the program. Friday was a good step in the right direction. And when they do these brawls, it typically is. That's easy, quick heat that the crowd gets into. Now you got to follow it up with something that continues to elevate it. And I do think there is material for a promo with them. You know, it might be a little too shoot and inside for people, but there's material there. It's just a matter of can Tiffany pull it off, and how much is Charlotte going to give and lean into when it comes to that.
I feel like the inside baseball stuff is going to be safe for the triple threat with Seth and Punk and Rollins to give you that inside baseball BS.
But it's Mania. They do that with all these feuds. Like Mania is like the biggest time of like, we're just gonna say stuff, and definitely it's become more and more over since Triple H took over. You know, Bayley and Nia were doing that leading into their SummerSlam match. They were doing the whole you injure people type of thing. Like if it's there, they'll do it. I don't feel like it's gonna be saved for anybody. Oh, they're already doing it on social media. Tiffany and Charlotte, they were going back and forth on social media all weekend. So yeah, I think they'll do it on screen.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. But for now, at least they did something so that Tiffany didn't look like a bitch every week, getting beat down by Charlotte all willy nilly.
Yeah, she needed something, and this was something. Would have been a little bit better if she like didn't domino Charlotte and instead actually hit her.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on, a couple of locations for pay-per-views that have been discussed. One is according to Fightful Select. The talk is Survivor Series heading to San Diego. That's nice. Maybe do it on nice warm weather. And the other one, according to Andrew Baydala, is Money in the Bank headed to Los Angeles, California. I think there was also talk about Houston, Texas, but nothing's official yet on either of those. That is just kind of what's out there in the ether. Select reporting Survivor Series in San Diego, and Andrew Baydala is saying Money in the Bank potentially in LA. A lot of West Coast jaunts for WWE for a 6-month span. Why not? The weather's nice. Enjoy it, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to these shows, so hopefully the people who do go to the shows enjoy them and have fun.
If they do LA, at least they'll be back in the Intuit Dome, which I know was a fun spot to watch the show. So I would look forward to that, presentationally speaking.
Get ready for all the celebrities to show up to the show.
WrestleMania is just going to be every other camera cut is going to be, and here's this celebrity and this poker player and this pro bowler and this pro magnum. I don't know. It's just going to be every other shot's going to be a celebrity in the crowd. They're going to cut midway through the Jey Uso Gunther match just to show you like Topanga's back. It's just going to be one of those.
Well, Topanga rules, so hopefully she is back there, and Will Friedle gets his graphic this time.
No, I hope they keep that going. And then he has to go on his podcast and say, I'm not mad. Be a little bit mad. Oh man. Yeah, we'll see. I just think that they're gonna be so many celebrity cut throughs on those WrestleMania nights. Yeah, Vanessa Hudgens will be there. They'll be all over that again. Yeah, there's gonna be so much. Who's gonna be like
Hudgens is gonna wrestle by the end of the year?
She probably should actually. Topanga versus Macaulay Culkin at Money in the Bank. I'd be fine with that.
That's big time, right there. You do Topanga against Macaulay Culkin. We got to throw Hudgens in there. Hudgens is on the roster at this point, so I think that that's a triple threat match: Topanga, Hudgens, and Macaulay Culkin.
Are there 3 Culkin kids?
There's Kieran, Macaulay,
and Rory.
Yeah.
Wow. So the 3 of them should be in Money in the Bank is really what I'm getting at.
Okay.
I want the 3 of them in there. Yeah, Kieran, Rory, and is his dad still alive? Kit Culkin is still alive. He's 80 years old.
Oh, plus.
He should be in the match too. Culkin in the Bank, baby.
I think people talking about the Vanessa Hudgens swerve. I think that was an old photo that Swerve like reposted. I could be wrong. I know he posted like on his Instagram, but like I maybe not. But I thought that it was like an older photo between them.
Yeah, I saw the photo too, but I don't know when it was taken.
Yeah.
I like this. The Culkins versus the Bloodline is kind of the winner right there.
Oh, the Culkins would kick their ass. I thought Kieran was having dinner with Sami Zayn.
Was that Kieran or was that Rory? I don't know. I never know the difference.
It was Kieran.
Okay, because I know one of them there was the whole like celebrating with Sami Zayn or celebrating with CM Punk after winning the Oscar at ringside.
That was Kieran.
That was Kieran. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Roy was there with Macaulay on the MSG show, but he didn't get a graphic.
No, he was just sitting there all emo. It was great. And Brenda Song is going to be the special guest referee for that match.
Brenda Song kick all their asses too.
I'm all for it. Who needs a referee? That's really all I need to know. I need a Culkin in the Bank match. Brenda Song versus Paul Heyman on the microphone. There's your promo. The Culkins versus the Bloodline with Paul Heyman. Oh, look at us booking the best possible outcome in wrestling. Can't say you wouldn't love it.
That Paul Heyman promo on SmackDown.
Video game. And also Seth Rollins, you suck.
He's like, don't boo. Just go to Italy next week and wherever they are. And Mussolini's not stopping you.
By the way, Cheapo, why did they get to shout out Cheapo Air? Like, they don't do business with them, and Cheapo Air is an awful. Do not go to Cheapo Air to buy your plane tickets. They jack up the price and then give you a promo code that just matches it in line with literally everywhere else. Do not fly with Cheapo Air. Anyway, point is, they mention it again because Tessitore then makes a Cheapo Air reference. I'm like, stop it. They're not a sponsor that I know of. Like, this is awful. But yeah. Go to the show next week and you'll see Roman Reigns. I think he meant it as an insult because people are cheap, but like Cheapo Air is just, they're a legitimate business that exists.
I didn't know that was legit. I thought it was just like saying buy a cheap plane ticket.
No, he means go to Cheapo Air and go. Don't do it. Don't go through Cheapo. There are so many other websites. Go through Google Flights if you have to, not through Cheapo.
Just ruled that he's like Roman Reigns on the show next week and then booing. He's like, don't boo. And he's also keep cheering because I need the ratings to go up during my segments. Like, what are we doing?
We keep the ratings high during my segments.
What are we doing?
It was the most like Paul Heyman, I'm a bullshit artist pay-per-view build promo ever. Everyone sucks. But I hate Seth Rollins the most.
And Triple H and can't wait to see what John Cena does as a heel tonight. All right. That's the funny thing about people are on Damaris Lewis for her comments, which she later clarified and understood. It's like Triple H just out here using heel and babyface and talking about the whole Raw Netflix premiere thing with that video package was telling you we're just characters doing stories. It's like you can't be that mad at Damaris Lewis for saying that in a short little interview where she just kind of the words didn't come out right there, and then look at WWE and be like they're protecting things when the whole introduction to the Netflix era was this is all fake. It's all scripted. It's all storyline. We are all characters. Let us entertain you. So dumb.
Well, because Netflix knows what this is, but the fans don't. But now we need to tell the fans exactly what this is.
Yeah, I've gotten on The Rock for that. I don't like when The Rock does it, where when he's like, it's so great to play the final boss. Just it's great playing this character. It's like, dude, just play the character then. You don't have to tell us how great this role is. Just go play the character.
How insecure can you possibly be to have to draw this every single time? To have to tell everyone that this is like, I'm playing a character. I promise. I'm actually a good guy. What, like, did WrestleMania 40 really hurt you that much that you had to go and erase all all the things that happened. Like, what are we doing here, Rock?
Yeah.
It's because he knows that this is one of the last places that'll still accept him. He almost fucked that up at WrestleMania 40.
Nah, he could walk in that company anytime he wants and do whatever he wants and get
That's
away
the
with
problem.
it. Yeah, rules.
He's established.
Yeah, last true worker, brother. Just coming out there and be like, what are your plans tonight? All right. Off is a direction those plans can fuck. Because the final boss is here. And here's what we're doing. And here we go.
20 steps ahead, more like 20 fingers of vodka ahead. You bald fraud. You think CM Punk's going to come out during the John Cena segment tonight?
I don't think Punk's on the show tonight. I don't think Punk's on the show.
He's not?
Nah, he's not advertised, I don't think.
Oh, well, not advertised versus not showing up. Well,
Seth is part of the show, but I don't think he's not advertised. I know that much.
Where is Punk right now? Did he go across the pond?
Yeah, he's supposed to be on SmackDown. He said he's going to be on SmackDown on Friday.
Very
but I don't think he's going to be. He was like announced for shows and then he was like pulled for shows. So I think maybe there was a scheduling rearrangement or whatever. But he's supposed to be on SmackDown. I'm not expecting Punk because he's not advertised. Usually, if they have Punk, they'll say Punk will be in the building or something. If he shows up, great. If he interrupts Seth Rollins, great. Like, more power to him. I'm just not expecting Punk for this show.
They've got a pretty loaded episode tonight too.
They got John Cena. Like that's all you need. Like when you're billing this as the first appearance of John Cena since Elimination Chamber, which it is, you don't need a whole lot beyond that. But yeah, they got Braun Breaker and Finn for the Intercontinental title, even though Finn hasn't won a match in like 5 years. And they got Penta and Kaiser and No Holds Barred and some other good stuff on the show. The women's Intercontinental title, I think, is on the line. I know Lyra and Raquel, I'm pretty sure. But.
Well, let's this is what's on our website, and then we'll cross-reference it with the WWE website. Tonight on Raw, live from Brussels, Belgium, 3 p.m. Eastern on Netflix. You can watch it too if you're in the US. You don't have to do it like the SmackDown VPN thing. So go and watch SmackDown live at 3 p.m. Seth Rollins is going to speak. Who knows who's going to cut him off? Io Sky and Bianca Belair have a contract signing. We didn't talk about the Jade thing from SmackDown. That's leading to Jade taking on Liv Morgan, and I'm sure Naomi's going to get involved in that. But the first thing I thought of when I saw that interview with Jade, by the way, was holy shit, those arena seats look very uncomfortable. Just those white hard plastic seats. They didn't look like much.
If Jade knew it was Naomi,
why didn't she respond to Bianca's text?
Yeah.
This felt hurt that Naomi went with her.
Maybe, but she was tweeting, she was posting photos and stuff. Like if she knew it was Naomi, why didn't she say something a little bit sooner?
Maybe she thought that the tag titles would still be there when they got back. So she decided, I'll keep the tag titles on those two so I can take them back and beat up Naomi, take my tag title back. They need to explain this. Me doing this headcanon stuff doesn't work for me, at least. She will need to explain some of this. Bianca will need to ask questions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like the sit-down interview was pretty well done. It was just watching them sitting in those very uncomfortable seats made me feel bad for the people in the arena afterwards who had to sit there for 4.5 hours. It's tough. Anyway, tonight, Dakota Kai takes on Ivy Nile because he got to run that back. Jey Uso takes on Austin Theory. I'm sure everyone's excited about Jimmy Uso getting involved and setting up a tag team match, the Usos versus Theory and Walla. Have fun with that. Cody Rhodes will appear. John Cena and Cody Rhodes will be under one roof as opposed to two roofs. What if one's in the bus and the other one's in the arena? Who knows? Maybe John Cena will exert his power and be like, Cody Rhodes, you have to exit the building so I can have my time without you getting involved. Maybe that'll happen. They'll have to escort Cody from the building.
What if they both come out on their buses?
It's like Elijah on the horse.
Yeah.
it's like Santana with the lowrider.
Just both the buses pulling into the arena at once and just converge.
It's the most WCW 1997.
And they get on top of their buses and they like cut the promos from the top of their buses. Cody hasn't been on top of the bus for a while. Last time he did it, he had his hair dyed black because he's fighting off QT and all those guys. So yeah, that's what they should do. That's how I would do this promo segment. They both come in on their buses and they climb the top of the buses and they just cut the promos back and forth. And then John Cena runs over Stu with the bus.
That's how it should end. Cody picks up Stu and just, no! Oh, cinema. The Intercontinental Championship's on the line. Braun Breaker defends against Finn Balor because, of course, you got to have the Irishman put up a title match on St. Patrick's Day and then crush the Irish on St. Patty's Day. You think Sheamus is going to appear tonight? Think Sheamus is going to come out and do a thing because it's St. Patty's Day?
I don't know.
He'll have a beat 'em brawl type match with, like, I don't know, one of the Creeds. I got nothing. No holds barred. Speaking of which, Penta versus Ludwig Kaiser. I'm surprised this match didn't turn into some sort of St. Patty's Day brawl.
Maybe it will. Maybe Penta will use like a shillelagh.
Yeah, maybe we're going to see Phoenix debut all of a sudden because on SmackDown they ran the promo that looks like it's Phoenix's visage on the turnbuckle. Good to see Phoenix potentially coming in. If he debuts on SmackDown, sure, there probably will be a draft at one point, or this was just them saying
shit doesn't matter.
And on top of that, like, they might just run another segment, another promo this week, or like on tonight's show, and everyone's like, all right, he's just going to be promoted on both shows right now, which is how I would do it. Just keep running promos on both shows. Who cares? Same thing with the presumed Aleister Black 4 promo. Love how people got into their feelings about that. It's been 4 years and it's 4/4/25 or whatever the date was that people were like, that's the next episode of SmackDown. And it's like, all right, well, maybe just go with the number 4. We'll just stick with that. But yeah, it seems like that's the Aleister Black return promo.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when these promos air because they're going to put them on whatever brand they want. And then it still doesn't matter because they're going to show up whenever they want. Gunther was on SmackDown. He's the Raw champion. Cody is on Raw. He's a SmackDown champion. Bianca just goes between both shows. None of it matters. Quit pretending like it does.
What are you talking about? This is very important stuff.
Oh, not you, but other people. Like, they just show up when they want. They're just part of the show that they want to be part of. And then they don't make any mention of it. You know, it's just like, oh, the champion's here because, I don't know, because he wants to show up. Sure.
Fair. I really just think he'll show up whenever they show up. It'll be like randomly to save his brother or some shit.
I suspect he'll show up then as well. They aired the promo on SmackDown because they aired it on SmackDown. I wouldn't be shocked if, like you said, they aired on Raw tonight as well.
Yeah. And we got one more super chat before we start moseying on out of here. Tenruza saying, am I the only one who wants the TNT Continental and International Championship to unify? We've done this before. The TNT Continental Championship. The TNT title is what it is. It, again, just define the titles and what they mean and who's vying for them. If you're going to combine the International and the Continental Championships, great. TNT can stand on its own, treat it like you would your TV title, because guess what? It's named after one of your broadcast partners. You just need to make the International Championship the 1A, the world title, or sorry, the 1B to the world title, the 1A, and then make the TNT your underneath championship. Pretty straightforward.
The TNT title has been featured on the TNT show. I'm sure why people are mad about this.
Yeah.
By the way.
It should be that way. We talked about that with the TBS title. We were like, put Mercedes on the TBS show and then maybe the women's world title on the TNT show. Guess what they did? They started putting the women's world title match on the TNT show and the TBS title on the TBS show. Straightforward.
Yeah, people mad about, oh, Daniel Garcia, his reign sucks. It's like, watch Collision. Daniel Garcia's reign, like, I mean, Hendry Buyer says Daniel Garcia's run sucks, but defended it multiple times on Collision. I don't know if the first part is you being facetious, Henry. The reign's been like fine for Garcia. My issue with it is he's basically faced baby faces the whole time, and there hasn't been much meat to these matches. And there hasn't been much meat to the story. of it. Like, he's defending the title, all good. But like the Mark Briscoe title defense was weird because Mark Briscoe's like, I think I should get a shot. And Daniel's like, I don't know about that. I don't know if you should get it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, just give him the shot. Like, why are you all of a sudden a cowardly champion after doing the Continental Classic? And then the Adam Cole stuff is like fine, but it's just like, can they coexist? Nonsense that doesn't do anything for me. Again, his best challengers have been baby faces. Like, sorry, I'm not buying Shane Taylor Promotions and Lee Moriarty, who lose every single time they're on Collision. Those are not credible challengers to me. I think him and Adam Cole will have a really good match on Saturday. I would not be shocked if Adam Cole wins. I thought Adam Cole was going to win last time. They did a non-finish. So I'm just going to call that Adam Cole is going to win here as well. I don't think anything's been wrong with Garcia's run as far as featuring it on Collision. That's fine. Again, it's TNT title. He's wrestling on the TNT show. I would just like to see a little bit more, just more meat to these matches and stories for Garcia. That's all.
Speaking of titles and title changes, Street Profits captured the SmackDown tag titles in Barcelona. That's a match that happened, and that's a tag team title that changed hands. So there you go. Street Profits, tag team champions for at least another month.
Like, that's fine. Like, Street Profits are great. You know, this new persona they have is really good. They're a heel team, theoretically, who beat a heel team, and their first title defense is against a heel Pretty Deadly.
Well, you see, the thing about that is that shades of gray and things of that matter.
Like, you gotta get some other teams in there. I know Motor City is like the one babyface team that they have, but you gotta do a little bit more with this tag team division, because I don't mind the story that they did with the whole, who attacked the Street Profits, took them out. Oh, it was DIY. They benefited, so they got the tag team title shot. DIY won the titles. Street Profits came back. They're going after both Motor City and DIY. They get the shot. You know, there's the side story with Pretty Deadly and the Legato guys. Like, it's there. The story is there. It's just people aren't super interested in it. And the dynamic is weird when you've gone from the heel DIY to the heel Street Profits, and now you have, again, heel Pretty Deadly, Legato also a heel team. You just don't have enough baby faces there. Motor City is the only babyface team that's there, and you know, that's the only team that these heels can play off of. Otherwise, just heels feuding, and people aren't super into that.
Have you considered sending the War Raiders over to SmackDown to consolidate the stupid tag team titles?
I do think they should do that at some point. Well, like, all right, you look at the SmackDown or the Raw side of things. War Raiders, fine babyface team. Beyond that, your best teams are, again, heels.
Well, the LWO, if you got to take them. I didn't say that they're the credible team, but they're at least a team that's there.
Sure, but your best are heels. New Day heels. American Made heels. Judgment Day heels. Like, your top three after War Raiders are still heels. LWO they're there. But Waller, in theory, if they're still a tag team, also heels. But yeah, after War Raiders, they just don't have any credible babyface tag teams right now. It's Motor City and it's War Raiders. That's it. You gotta find some more credible babyface tag teams to feud with all of these heels.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be me, because 1,461 days ago, that was me, baby. I still have it too.
No, you don't.
Today's not physically in my possession.
Yeah.
4 years ago today, I won the Fightful Championship. And I have remained undefeated. I have remained the champion, your champion, here on Fightful. 4 years, if you can believe it. 1,461 days.
You don't
suck it, Roman Reigns. Suck it, other long-term champions. Cody Rhodes is almost there. He's 300 and something days. Suck it, Nic Nemeth. He didn't really have it that long. Suck it, Joe Hendry. You haven't really been trying. Suck it, Tom Latimer. Who's the NWA champion?
Yeah, Tom Latimer.
Yeah, suck it. Tom Latimer's held it for like 57 days or so. Suck at other long-term champions that I can't think of that I'm sure exist, but I haven't really put any interest in researching you. I'm your man. Suck at MJF 406 days. That one I remember somehow. I was researching it earlier. You can all suck it and raise your ones. I am the guy. No one will take it.
You don't even have the title.
800 and something days. It's locked up in a very, very important place. You
should start out. You got a Money in the Bank briefcase, don't you?
No.
Oh, I just assumed you did.
No. I had the banners at one point. WWE PR. This was Money in the Bank over the summer when you were here.
Yeah.
Remember? I got one of the banners because they were like, we can't do anything with this promotional stuff. You're local. Do you want it? And I was like, sure. And I took it because Tim, he was going to use the trust that comes with it to use it for other stuff. So I don't actually have the Money in the Bank stuff. Anyway, I don't have.
You have luggage, Joel, I assume.
It's like a backpack. That's what I use to fly mostly.
No. I mean, I guess you could do the Orange Cassidy gimmick of like the titles in the backpack. John Moxley just keeps that thing in a briefcase.
That's true. I've thought about the briefcase.
So you should just show like luggage, or you got a duffel bag, something.
I mean, technically the backpack is like a duffel bag. It's very thick.
Okay. All right. You just be like, the title's in here. The soul of Fightful is in here.
No. You got to eat it if you want the soul of Fightful. I got to chop up that belt and eat it. Maybe fry it up, leave it at a Texas Longhorn, something like that. Anyway, 4 years. It's a hell of a ride, and it's not going anywhere soon. In fact, it's going to get even more entertaining very soon. Jeremy, anything to plug?
I don't think so. I don't know. No. Yes. Yes. No. Maybe.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Do you have anything to plug?
You're not the boss of me now.
Don't go back and watch the intro. Very problematic. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, Jeremy's back with SP3 to talk about who knows.
John Cena killing Stu.
Yeah, it's going to be John Cena on thumbnails all week at this rate.
It should be. It should just be John Cena the whole week of the thumbnails. And then people will get mad. Like, why are you still talking about John Cena? Breaking news. John Cena.
Using clickbait. It turned out that wasn't an actual report. Rock and Soul Connection. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Like, just go home, take your vitamins, enjoy your life. Go touch some grass. Pardon?
Say your prayers?
No. Drink your beer, but only if you're legal and you want to drink it. Go outside, go enjoy Raw. It starts in a few hours.
Even if it's not legal, it's fine.
That's true. Go do whatever you want. Yeah, you'll see the John Cena moment tonight 10,000 times. So what's 10,001? Besides, Thursday is going to be Cope raising that AEW World Title anyway. So have fun.
John Cena should be in every thumbnail this week. Just like work him in to the background. That'd be great. Even if Cope wins the title. Oh man. I'm so excited if Cope wins the title. He's not going to, but I hope it happens. I'm going to have a breakdown on Thursday's show.
You're going to watch so many people crash out over this. It's going to be great.
I'm going to laugh. But, my bit is that, like, I don't like Cope and that, like, he's just terrible. And so him winning, I'm going to do a complete 180 and just have, like, a giant celebration because I think it'd be the most hilarious outcome. Like, yeah, you got to go with Cope. Why wouldn't you go with him? He was the second biggest star of the Ruthless Aggression era. You have to go with Cope.
John Cena and Adam Copeland having great runs in 2025 is exactly what the fans want.
They're doing the Paul Rudd meme. Look at us. Look at us. Look at us. Yeah, who would have thought 20 years ago when we were tearing up the WWE main event scene? Here we are. I'm on top of AEW. You're on top of WWE again. Look at us.
I was at that Unforgiven show where they had the TLC match. It was a good match.
I was at the Raw where Cope faced Flair. It was in North Carolina. I think it was TLC ladder match, whatever it was. But Cope and Flair. That was at that Raw.
Good times had by some. Anyway, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, SP3, Jeremy. They'll be here talking about John Cena, nothing but. So for Jeremy Lambert, I'm Match Roll Pearl. JOELPEARL, ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Cheers.